Thank you so much for watching this presentation today. I certainly appreciate you taking responsibility and accountability for your development and performance. This whole presentation is going to try to convince you as the player of why I coach a certain way based upon actual numbers, not about my gut or my feelings or my history, about what actually soccer is in terms of a sport, the numbers of how to score goals. And that's what we're going to focus on this spring. Spring's kind of an odd season because it's not really, it's about a month and a half by the time we get everybody back from spring break and high school soccer. So really, I don't have time to develop a massive plan to train individuals and positions. So I have to really be specific of what we're going to do, which means we're going to be attacking in the final third. For those new players, we divide the pitch up initially into three sections: the initial third, the middle third, and the final third. And in all phases of soccer, there are four. You're either attacking, defending, or you're switching between the two in what's called the transition. We're going to be focused in attacking in the final third, trying to score goals. This is part one of a presentation. This one's going to be focused on the shot itself and the goal itself and the tactics used to make that goal. Part two is going to be dealing with the assist and where the assist is coming from for the goal. When attacking in the final third, the team's objective is to obviously score goals. The purpose of the game is to score more goals than the opposition. That's how you win. But not only scoring goals, we also want to focus on possessing the ball in order to create high quality chances. And this is something that's very important. We all have to agree that some chances are better than others. Some shots are easier than others. It may seem obvious, kind of saying, oh, well, of course, but you have to believe it. And when you believe it, your soccer actions on the field will match your belief. So before we go any farther, everybody has to agree that we have to possess the ball to create high quality chances in order for our shots to become more goals. The general principles of how we score goals and create high quality chances is we're going to exploit the opposition when they are unbalanced or disorganized. And if they're not unbalanced and disorganized, we're going to do things in order to unbalance and disorganize them. How do we unbalance and disorganize the opponent when we're in the final third, getting into that final third? There are certain team general tactical principles that we go for. We like a large shape. Now, I don't want you so large that you're out of your zones. We have certain zones that we want to be in, but we don't want to be on top of each other. We want a bigger shape when we're attacking and a smaller shape when we're defending. We're going to utilize space and triangulate to create passing options. That means we're going to be constantly trying to be a passing option. We're moving and moving and moving to be a passing option within our shape, within our zones. We're going to pass or dribble forward when possible or maintain possession. Especially in the final third, I want you guys to have the skill and confidence to take on defenders 1v1. I also want you guys to understand, to have the soccer IQ to say, okay, there's three guys. I shouldn't be dribbling through three guys. Or if I'm back to goal and I have two defenders behind me and I receive a pass, I probably shouldn't turn. I need to pass in the direction I'm facing to maintain possession. A lot of this stuff, the large shape, the utilizing space, the passing or dribble forward when possible, or maintain position, those decisions are all about possessing the ball to create a high quality chance. Now, let's say you're off the ball. You want to support the attack. That means the entire formation comes forward from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all come forward to support the attack. We're going to create diagonal passing lanes. Our shape, our 4-4-2 diamond naturally creates these diagonal passing lanes. And there's a reason why diagonal passes are better to cut through defenders. We can talk about that later. You can ask me a question later about that. But our shape naturally does it, and they're dangerous. We're going to vary the runs to get behind or between the defensive lines of the opposition. This is critical. My 9 and 10, my expectation for my 9 and 10 is to be able to read the defense. If you're playing a back 3, they're playing a back 4, a back 5, whatever it happens to be. I want you to set yourself up in certain gaps, depending on what the defense is giving you, and then vary it so you're not a one-trick pony. I want to have you show the defense something different, a little different every time to see what works, what doesn't, and then go back to what works. And then after they think they're going to do that one thing, you change it up. That's what it means to have high soccer IQ. And finally, once again, getting numbers in the box. And that's just about supporting the attack, putting the midfield into the box. So that way we have players in the box, we have the ball in the box, and we have possession in order to create high quality chances. So right now you're probably thinking to yourself, yeah, great coach. You've been telling this to us for years. And it's not just coming from my gut. It's not just coming from some coach that, told me. It's not just coming from out of nowhere, out of the ether. There's objectively things we can look at, statistics we can use to see where goals are being scored from, what kind of assists are used to produce those goals in a large data set of games. And that's what I want to show you today to prove to you if you choose to play like this, you will score more goals. So this is not my research. This is done by Paco Cordorbes. He is the head football analysis for Atletico Madrid. He's a UFA Pro licensed coach, and he wrote a book looking at and examining and putting forth these ideas. So he took all the games in the 2022-2023 group stage of the Champions League, so the highest of the highest level of soccer. And we essentially are going to ask ourselves, what type of goals were scored? Where did the shots come from? Where did the assists come from? And what kind of passes were the assists? Now, his book goes into some other things as well, but those are the 4 key highlights that I pulled out of the data set. And what I want to talk to you over the next couple presentations about. Like I said, this one is only going to deal with the first 2 items, the type of goals and the shots. The next one are going to be about the assists. So the data set's going to come from the Champions League 2022-2023 group stage. In that group stage, there were 304 goals scored in 96 matches. So it's a fairly substantial sample size. And this is the fun stuff where the rubber meets the road. We're going to take a look at all the data, all the goals, and see if anything jumps out at us and be like, okay, they are scoring specifically from these locations by these type of passing and assists, this type of play. And if we can mimic that, if we can train towards that, if we can develop training sessions and an attitude to be like, this is where we want to do as a team, then naturally we too will be able to create better and higher quality chances. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to increase the number of goals by increasing the type of chances we are creating. We're going to get ourselves into that positive situation where we're creating high quality chances. This is a breakdown of where all the goals are scored from. As you can see, 237 goals, or 77% of the goals, came from open play, meaning that you had possession, you're kicking it around, and you kick it in the back of the net. 33 goals, or almost 11%, came from the corner kicks. 9% came from the penalty spot, and the last bit, 3%, came from free kicks. This is really important for me as a coach, because then I can say to myself, okay, so I have a training season. What do I want to cover? I want to cover open play because I want to score more goals. So I'm going to cover the vast majority of my time open play, and I'm going to cover about 10% of my time in corner kicks and almost none in penalty kicks or free kicks. And I want to get back to this free kick thing a little bit later. They also broke down the tactics used in the goal and what led to the goal. And as you can see, there are certain things that really kind of come out to the fore. And once again, it tells me what I need to focus on as a coach. But I hope it tells you why I'm saying certain things and why I stress certain things. The number one thing is attacking combination play from the center. Regardless of what formation you're using, regardless of what tactic you're using, and especially in our tactic, the midfield, the ability over the midfield to pass and to move the ball through the middle third into the final third is key to success. Almost 45 goals came from that. Counter in the midfield. Once again, the midfield, so important. Winning the ball and then countering. But that's coming from the midfield, our 6, 7, 11, and 8, the heart of the team. Corner kicks. Corner kicks is number 3. I think the reason that is because the quality of the defense in the Champions League. So when you get everybody numbers in the box and balls in the box, you're going to have a better quality chance, and that's why corner kicks are so high. Penalties. I'll tell you something about penalties. To me, penalties not so much the shot itself of the penalty. It's what you have to do to get the penalty. And to me, that is possession of the ball in the box. That's the only way you're going to get a penalty. And so to me, that says possession. Playing through the line, so those are those killer passes that break, like a flat 4-4-2 that in those gaps. And finally, we come down right in the mid, almost half as much as attacking combination play is attacking out wide and crossing the ball. This is one of the reasons why I don't want you to do it, is because right there, the numbers say you have a half as much chance of scoring it through that way than you do if you just play through the middle. Switching the play, this would be so essentially crossing the ball prior to the penetration of the final third. So let's say you have your 2 on the outside and then you huff it long to the far side, and that's the switch of play. Counter from the final third. This is defending in the final third. That will get you that ball in the where you want to be in that final third automatically. I thought this would be higher. Attack through the center. That's essentially just dribbling. Attacking combination play wide. That's kind of 1-2s out there with the fullbacks and the wingers. Counter from initial third. That essentially means that you won the ball in your initial third off, like say they had a corner and you win it and you just huff it long. The long pass, that's would be like route 1 from the goalie up to your striker. Anytime you have a long pass to your single striker. Indirect free kick, and finally direct free kick. And I want you guys to understand, you shouldn't confuse the endorphin rush, the excitement that comes when you make a direct free kick, or when you do that beautiful cross and somebody heads it in. Don't confuse that with actually trying to create excellent chances. The reason why you get that endorphin hit, the reason why it's so exciting, the reason why you're willing to lift the dude above your head and carrying him off the field when he makes that direct free kick is because it's so rare. It's because it's so amazing. You just saw something that was incredible. A direct free kick shot and goal is a rare thing, and that's why everybody stands up and cheers. You cannot rely on a direct free kick to win you the game, and the data shows it. Now, when it happens, and it happened to us last year, and man, we needed it, but that's why it's so special. That's why to this day, you still have that feeling inside of you. And that's also why I get so frustrated when I go to training and I'm trying to set something up and you guys immediately try during the training period, when I have your attention, we need to be training, that you guys just do kicks and free kicks at a goal. Because the likelihood of that occurring, you're taking your time in training to do things that will not help you on the field. Now, there's a caveat there. In training, if you want to get good at direct free kicks, if you want to be the guy who is lifted above everybody's heads and carried off the field because he scored the game winner direct free kick, then you need to practice outside of training. But when I have the team together, that's it. There's a part of my heart that just it dies inside because it's like, no, come on, guys. That's not how we score goals. So this is the type of information that's going to then tell me, okay, what do I have to work on? Once again, just like the other stuff in free play, but we're going to be focusing on attacking combination play in the center, countering in the midfield, corner kicks, and that penalty one is possession in the box. For the last several years, I've been trying to convince you guys that the entire team is involved in the attacks. I don't want a team that huffs it long for some strong, fast guy to run onto. That's not how the professionals do it. That's not how you score goals. You might have a miracle and have that one guy on your team that they can do it for you, but the likelihood of that occurring is very low. So that means you need the entire team involved. Soccer is a team sport. And I want to go back and kind of reemphasize what we want to do in the middle third and the final third, what our team goal is. So in the middle third, we want to have possession to pass or dribble forward in order to create high quality chances in the final third. And in the final third, we obviously want to score goals and we have to possess the ball to create high quality chances. What's the one thing that's linking both of these things is that we want to have possession, 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 possession. And as we always say, possession is precious. To take it a step further, we're going to look at those top 4 tactics used: attacking combination play from the center, countering from the midfield, corner kicks, and penalties. Those top 4 constituted 47, almost 50% of the goals scored in that group stage of the Champions League came from those 4 tactics. So not only is the midfield involved, there's something else about those 4 that I'm trying to drive into you guys. All 4 of those has to deal, once again, with possession. Attacking combination play, that's possession. That is good passing. Countering the midfield, that is pressing and then possessing to get into that final third. Corner kicks, that is possessing the ball in order to the other team to kick it out. And now we have numbers in the box. We have the ball and we're going to go try to score with that. And penalties, that means we have possession of the ball in the box and we were fouled. But possession. So to summarize, if we want to score more goals, there are certain tactics that we want to employ and certain tactics we want to either avoid or to not rely on. If we want higher percentage chances, the midfield absolutely must be involved. Possession is key. And we have to get the ball into the box, and we have to get the players into the box. Tactics that we want to avoid or not rely on. We don't want to rely on free kicks to win us the game. We want to avoid crosses from out wide. We want to avoid the long ball forward, and we want to avoid attacks from out wide. So normally we divide the pitch into 3 zones: the initial third, the middle third, and the final third. But for the purpose of this discussion and the next discussion, we have to divide the pitch into smaller chunks to really hyper focus of where the goals and the assists are coming from. The first zone is going to be the defensive half. Remember, once again, we're only going to be talking about attacking the final third, how to score more goals. So the defensive half, it's quite rare to get a goal or an assist from the defensive half, but it has occurred. The low wide zones, this is going to be territory occupied for our team by the 2 and the 3 and the 9 and the 10. The half spaces, this is going to be the areas patrolled by the 7 and the 11. The center space, this is going to be the area in the middle controlled by the 8 and the 6. The high wide zones, the back center of the box, the front center of the box, and the side of the box. And it should come to the shock of no one here that the most of the goals obviously comes from the front center of the box or the back center of the box. So that means as a team, we should try to get the ball to the front center of the box or the back center of the box. Remember, the other thing I'm trying to convince you guys is that there are better chances. There are chances that are a higher quality than other chances. And right here, it just screams at you. 159 goals scored with shots taken from the front center of the box. 52% of the goals scored in the Champions League group stage. 62 goals scored from the back center of the box. 20% of the group stage goals. Those two together, so 72%, 73% of the goals were scored from shots from the center of the box. Everything else, it's tiny. Outside of the box, shots from outside the box. Sometimes, it's, once again, you're dealing with that, okay, maybe it goes in, but if you've done the hard work to get the ball into the final third and you're just outside the box, only 9% of those goals, those shots went in for the Champions League. Can we go from that 9% just by making that next pass or holding the ball a little more and to get the ball into the box, especially into the center of the box? Can we go from 9% to 52? Is that a better, higher quality shot? A better, higher quality chance? That's what I'm trying to get you guys to see. Penalty spot, yep. We already knew that a bunch of goals came from the penalty spot and the side of the box. People shooting when they're at the end line or at the side of the box in poor angles with the goalie covering near post only constituted 8% of the goals in that entire Champions League group stage. It's just like shooting from outside the box. Instead of taking that shot, can we choose to find a pass to a teammate in the front center of the box or in the back center of the box where a higher quality chance could be created? So a summary, just like in tactics, Where are the locations that we want to be in order to create higher quality chances? Obviously, we want to be at the front center of the box or taking our shots at the back center of the box. We do not want to be taking shots on the side of the box or outside the box. So all that data will inform how we're going to train for the rest of this short SSUL spring season. First couple weeks, we're just going to try to get the ball into the box. We're going to get the ball into the box in the specific spot. We're going to get it with possession. And remember, if we get it into that front center of the box or the back center of the box, that's where 74% of those Champions League goals came from. So all we're going to do first couple weeks, try how can we get the ball with possession into that location. Next couple of weeks, we'll then try to get players into the box. We're going to try to make sure that our 2 and 3, our 9 and 10 are adept at holding up play, waiting for the midfield to come forward, and so that we have possession in the final third, and we're going to work the ball around in the final third in order to get the ball finally with people in the right locations in order to score more goals, because that's our whole focus for the spring, is to score more goals. And then all of a sudden, after several weeks like that, we're in June and we have a little bit of time left, and we'll work on corners. Corners represent about 11% of all the goals scored in the study. It's the third most frequent tactic used, and we can obviously score with corners, and we can do better. So thank you so much for watching this. This was about the goals scored. We're going to talk about the assists scored in the next one. So I'll see you then.